All right, welcome back to the channel. It is Uncle Makara, all relations. Let's get started today, okay? This is going to be the most Sigma Christmas ever, okay? Hands down, okay? Hands up and then hands down. All right, so just changing some settings around, okay? And sharing with the tribe so we're all tapped in and wired in into the same dimension. Okay. Why letting go makes you unmoggable, okay? This is a very, very powerful video today. So get some Christmas popcorn. I don't know what that is. Maybe like, candy canes for Christmas. All right. Get around the campfire, the bonfire this Christmas night and start to understand some of these datums, these wisdom tsunamis that you will be receiving today is going to ultimately heal you and help you. Okay. Now, I went live a little bit earlier today because I started to understand that time is such a valuable thing, you know. Time is such a very, very, very valuable thing. And one thing I've understood is that the meaning of psychology is healing of the soul. Now, how many psychologists do you personally know that heals the soul? Okay, maybe you might know a few. That's fantastic. Okay, maybe they're wired in, they're locked in, they understand, they've been there before. So if they've been there before, they can probably guide the journey forward. They already have one perspective, but don't let their one perspective affect your perspective. I want to teach you how to remain magnetic, attractive, be a walking magnet through this earth, because understand that earth has magnets, right? Earth has something called the magnetic field. And the Earth's magnetic field is so fascinating, man. It has this phenomena that's caused by a process called the dynamo effect. And this occurs deep within our planet. So this is how it works. So, okay, let me show you guys a picture if I can find it. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to share the whiteboard with base Santa, okay? Now, understand the structure of the Earth's core. This will help you with your magnetism. I'm telling you, I've been tapping into the Gob's wisdom, okay? King Gob's wisdom. King Gob is the elemental king of the earth. And so that's that silent wisdom of patience. It's a very, very transformative energy if you can understand it. So let's understand the structure of the earth's core, okay? Now look, the earth's core consists of two main parts, okay? There's a solid inner core, which is made of mostly nickel and iron, and a liquid outer core, also composed of molten material and metal. Okay, it's molten metal, burned metal. The Earth's liquid outer core is crucial for generating the magnetic field. Its motion is driven by convection currents. So this creates electric currents. The molten metal of the outer core of the Earth moves due to convection. This happens because of differences in temperature and density, combined with the planet rotating. So this hot, buoyant material rises while colder, more denser material sinks, causing a continuous flow. So the dynamo effect is as the Earth spins on its axis, the motion of the conductive liquid generates electric currents. These electric currents in turn produce a magnetic field extending far into space and forming the magnetosphere that surrounds the Earth. Without the Earth's liquid outer core, this dynamo effect would not be possible, guys. It would not occur. And the planet would lack a significant magnetic field. So when I say the words liquid, what comes to mind? Because for me, it's flow. Okay? That's what I've dedicated my life to. This state of consciousness called flow. Because I understand it's where I feel my best and where I perform my best. I'm not trying to be performative. I'm trying to be embodied in my teachings and my understandings, okay? Not just making this stuff up, right? Doing the actual research, but then letting the research imbue within my own essence so that I understand it better, okay? So the Earth's dynamo effect is similar to how a bike's dynamo works. You guys know what a bike's dynamo is? When the wheel spins, it turns magnets in the dynamo, generating an electric current to power a light. In Earth's case, the molten metal motion generates a planetary scale magnetic field. So the heat and safety from within the body creates a resonance outwards. Okay? Can you emanate like this? Because the Earth's magnetic field is billions of years old. So the certainty of knowing that you've lived, 3.5 billion years, what does that go to show you, right? It protects life on Earth by shielding the planet from cosmic radiation and solar winds, which can strip away the atmosphere if not deflected. So, though no one has directly visited the Earth's core, scientists have inferred its structure and dynamics through studies like the seismic wave analysis. Okay? It's 222 right now. Yeah. All right. Now, let me see. Second. Okay. So we're getting the feminine healing, but besides that, I think it's important to understand that though no one has directly visited the Earth's core, there's been seismic wave analysis. And so this technique tracks how shock waves from earthquakes travel through different layers of the planet, right? So that reveals different details about what's actually inside of the Earth, right? The interior of the Earth. I think this is an important quote to start off with, this lecture with, because it's absolutely phenomenal. Nicole Lupera quotes, "You have been afraid of losing control, but you've never had control. All you've had is anxiety." Let me say that again. You've been afraid of losing control, but you've never had control. All you've had is anxiety. Okay? So this understanding, and especially the light workers, the empaths, the soft, squishy spiritual people, they've got to understand this the most, that I am me, only me, nobody else. I'm connected to others, but I've got to know where my boundaries are, my physical boundaries, my emotional boundaries, my spiritual boundaries, and so forth. Okay. We have a challenge coming up, spiritualmasterychallenge.com. Okay. Go check it out. We're going to drop it in a few days. Be on the lookout for that because that's going to be very, very transformative and very, very powerful. Okay. So when you say this mantra, and I remember saying this mantra and then suddenly seeing CeeLo Green, the singer, forget. Well, the clean version would be forget you. The explicit version would be fuck you. Right? So I've been running around town with the girl I love. Okay. That song. That guy. Also in Gnarls Barkley, right? So as I started saying this mantra walking down, La Brea Boulevard or whatever in LA, somewhere in Hollywood, okay, I was walking down the street saying this mantra, I am me, only me, nobody else. So I would say, I am Sumed, only Sumed, nobody else. You can try this with your own name because the name is 1/3 of the soul. It's very, very powerful. So if your name is Fred, you would say, I am Fred, only Fred, nobody else. Okay. So this mantra puts you back into your own physical body again. Okay. You feel embodied. And this is one of the core, right? Earth's core principles you got to understand. That hot liquid within the inner core. Okay. I feel like my throat chakra is opening up, so I sound like a teenager, like a raspy teenager, like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo or something. Like an old man. Okay. So understand this Earth's crust dynamic, right? So there is an outer toughness you maintain for your physical body. That does not mean that you become a rigid and hurtful personality. Doesn't mean that at all. It means that you are solid and protected, that you are a guardian of the light. Okay? You are a guardian of the divine, and you have been given the sword and the shield to fight because you are here just like I am here. Understanding the Piscean to the Aquarian age, and whatever is happening right now, we got to embrace it. Some of the core principles of peak performance shamanism. Okay. This is a field that I'm pioneering. Okay. It's nothing known. Okay. It's a neologism that I've created. Okay. Neologism. Okay. Because it shoots out. Okay. Peak performance shamanism. What is to be shamanic? Trance-like states, gnosis. Okay. Altered states of mind, flow state shamanism. Okay. The ability to shapeshift, to take on other energies, but understand you have an energy within you. You are the vessel, right? And this makes you a very powerful channeler. This makes you a very powerful magnetic version of you. Okay. So what do you have to do? You have to be in your own frame. You have to cultivate a grounded sense of self where you aren't hyper vigilant or approval seeking all the time. You've got to understand that your frame is your unique reality. It's rooted in your beliefs, your values, and your energy. By being centered, you become magnetic. Because imagine you're at the center of the merry-go-round. Now what? You're not in the chaos, but you can watch the chaos happen, correct? So you feel safe within your own body while respecting the energetic boundaries between yourself and others. That's what's called separation in energy dynamics, okay? All right? You just have to notice it. Let's say I'm meditating on a specific image, right? Like the center of this dartboard. right? The red dot in the middle. If I look at that point, I'm now creating a separation. I'm feeling safe within my body and understanding that there is an outside of me that I'm focusing on, right? An externalization. So I'm understanding the energetic boundaries between me and this object that I'm focusing on. But in a state of flow, action and awareness merge. So the subject and object also merge. Okay? So rather than projecting energy outward to seek validation, you allow energy to circulate within you, amplifying your presence much more naturally. Ooh, man, this is what happens when you get activations and challenges, okay? So you have an inner energy flow, correct? Have you ever noticed it? Some people might notice it while doing a specific activity, like yoga, for instance. You notice the different knots in your body release, or you feel there's more room for the body to do what it needs to do, especially when you're growing older. You're getting all these weird twitches and aches and pains and, weird things showing up within your own body. So you have to respect the energetic boundaries between yourself and others, right? Understand when the energy can flow inwards and when you can project that energy outwards. But mostly we project energy outwards in order to seek a reaction from somebody else, which is actually repelling. It's not attractive. Okay? So you have to allow energy to circulate within you to amplify your presence much more naturally. Let's say my girl was in the other room, okay? And he was reading a book or something like this, right? And I was in this room, okay? And I was deep in stillness and meditation. The yang energy of remaining a container for, let's say, 15, 30 minutes, however long I meditate for, is going to create such a reservoir for the yin to come alive. So when I am the rock, she can become the waves, right? And it's not necessarily that you have to stay in this polarity sequence all the time, right? It's weavable, it's adaptable. But mostly you want to remain authentically you, grounded, being in your own frame, understanding the energy dynamics of this, and embrace the present moment, free from resistance and control. Fun and presence are foundational to raising your vibe, man. Your vibrational state, man. Letting go of the need to control outcomes paradoxically creates better outcomes because you are now aligning with flow and possibility. With that abundance, right? With that abundance, we are 888 path working. Remember that, okay? Letting go of the need to control outcomes paradoxically creates better outcomes, okay? Fun is inherently non-outcome dependent. Okay? You have fun because it's autotelic. It's fun for the sake of having fun. There's no hidden motives. There's no hidden agenda. There's no hidden storyline being played through. It simply is. And it keeps you in a state of authentic expression, right? Where you're not trying to make others perceive you in a certain way. You're actually just remaining in the state of presence and joy that arises in the nowness, in the eternitas. Okay? This is eternity because it's now. It feels like forever. And now feels like forever. It's not forever. And you notice this thing change, but also notice the things you're looking at, if you project your own consciousness upon that, it will start to change. It will start to morph. Okay. So if you feel very sad, you'll notice everybody around you is looking sad. If you're feeling very happy and joyous, you'll notice people cracking up in a smile or being in laughter around you. Why is this? Because it's a state transference that's always happening. Okay. This is the flow state. This keeps you in a state of authentic expression because there's so many volumes of this work because it is just now. Okay. It's not trying to future project. It's not trying to, predict outcomes. It's not trying to go to the past and try to validate something in the present, right? It's just engaging in activities that resonate with your inner joy and creativity, which naturally draws others towards you because it's non-needy, right? It simply allows itself to be itself. Okay? Sigma AF. Absolutely. So you got to integrate the past by feeling and releasing grief or pain, but also grounding yourself in a greater purpose and peace, a peaceful purpose, right? Transformation comes when you process, when you let go, when you reframe the stories about loss or hardship. Okay? There are no more losses in my world because there are only lessons. You guys see? The difference in the language creates and opens portals, doorways, outcomes. Shout out to Janus, okay? So the frame technique is very simple. You focus on an object. It could be a candle flame, it could be a mandala, it could be a yantra, it could be a very meaningful symbol to you. We are creating a Primal Sutra specific logo sigil. We're working on that right now. Good morning, Guido. So this is a really, really powerful practice, right? Because as you're, let's say, focusing on a candle flame or an object, right? Let's say you have a little Buddha statue, okay? You're focusing on that. As you're focusing on that, you're alternating your awareness between yourself, the Buddha nature within, and the periphery, the others, right? It's between you and the candle flame, there's a boundary. You're observing the awareness of that separation that you're creating in that moment of meditation. Low-key struggling, bro. Let's talk it out. What's going on, bro? Let's talk it out, bro. Let's talk it out, thug it out, hug it out. So ground your energy and detach from this external validation, right? Reclaim your energy by recognizing that other people's emotions or reactions are not your responsibility to manage. You gotta take that energy, you feel it in your shoulders, right? Whew. Right? Kali tapestry, very intense energy. Yep. Yep. I mean, that will shock the ego. Temptation is burdening me. Oh man, this is feeling really, really key for us, guys. This what Guido is saying right now is relevant for all of us. Okay, Ryan G was also talking about this. Guido, we just came back from New Zealand, right? That adventure was amazing because I got to see the heart of creation, the Lake Rotapumanu, where I was, and embracing, the sacred nectar of that land, you know. Powerful meditation on the terrible mother. Yep. Yeah, and it's very interesting to also notice Kali's energy as this radical shadow work, right? Because what you're really seeing, man, is Parvati becomes Durga, who can become Kali, right? So isn't this like the Russian doll effect or some kind of a Pokemon evolution happening, right? Clearly. So this is what I understand, at least when I engage with my own anima, right? And the anima comes through the darkness, the shadow, and the light, right? So this is why we've got to understand this carnal energy you're feeling, Guido, is your need to engage, procreate, keep your lineage moving. It's your genetics speaking to you to sublimate that in some way, to make use of that in some way that is not in the frame of depletion. Like your energy has to drop every time that you indulge. But what if we thought of our creative energy or fuel as a possibility, as an expansion? Okay? Because that's my life force energy. So, not exactly optimal for bringing over the ladies, but you're right about objects focusing energy in your space. Yeah. So you can only know what your own boundaries are if you remain in your physical boundaries, right? Because I see a lot of empaths and they're merging, this urge to merge is from a trauma response. Okay. So the ability to go into the lower astral planes, in a sense, of your own physical body, the Sodom and Gomorrah or whatever in the Bible, right? The lower basal, that kind of energy, right? And then suddenly and quickly trying to transmute that into this mode of intuitiveness, right? What empaths do is that they resist that lower energy. They go so much into the third eye that they're intuiting everything around them. They're sensing too much. They're feeling too much, right? Why am I feeling so sensitive all of a sudden? Well, it's because that's what you've done, right? So you've pushed some stuff down in order for that to become your trampoline. In order for you to be in a protective mode, you've then looked around your environment. Like, when I was younger, and I noticed, like, let's say two adults fighting, like my parents yelling at each other or something like this, it would put my whole nervous system into such a fight or flight that all I could do was perceive, right? Just watch. Just watch the whole thing go down. Just perceive. Try to avoid it, right? Protect yourself as much as you can, but also don't go into your lower body. Don't go into, feeling internal and safe in your physical body. Go up in the head, you're dead. Go back in the heart, you're alive because the heart pumps blood. That's where you need to be, my friend. Okay? I'm doing my best to keep my own sacred nectar inside me, but I feel the need to indulge. Of course, bro. But it's not you, right, Guido? It's not you. It's your ego that wants you to indulge because it needs a feeling of control, because it needs a feeling of safety, and it needs a feeling of validation or approval, right? But you right now, it's tough, but what's tougher, right? Already being in prison is tougher than this journey of your restraint and gaining back self-mastery. Yeah, I've been called an empath many times in my life, but I don't like it because it's overwhelming and it makes my own desires feel inappropriate. Yeah, man. So again, empath just comes with the word empathy, where you put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and we can all do that, right? But when you make it into a label, you start to make it a real thing. And to envision, this is why a lot of spiritual people are very hypersensitive, right? Because of this label. It's simply a label. It was a protective strategy for all of us to go up in the head, where the moment of panic happened, or the moment of shock or surprise or trauma happened, we went up into the upper chakras to deal with it. And so it's no wonder we have so many spiritual crown chakra seekers instead of embodied warriors of light and truth, right? And these are the codes that are coming through right now. This is what makes you unmoggable, because you have let go of a paradigm that's not serving you any longer. Okay? So purpose-driven shamanism, okay? Living your dharma. Okay? What is your dharma? It's your highest path. So you align with your highest calling to activate your true frequency, and you have to find your true frequency baseline. Okay, that's like your default mode network. That's where you operate from. You got to know what this thing is in order for you to then know what's off your baseline, like some weird antagonizing energy in this video game of life, right? Like some kind of nemesis energy or anti-you energy that gets attracted in the like-minded opportunity individual, right? This is how you create a high vibe tribe and a sort of enrichment for yourself, but also to know that your purpose is both a source of flow and a channel for divine energy to benefit yourself and others. So this is really about purpose-driven shamanism. You guys getting this? If you build momentum by achieving these small, meaningful victories aligned with your purpose, this will boost your confidence and reinforce your inner frame, your inner worldview. So you have to channel the energy of Source and God and Holy Spirit into your work, into your relationships, into your self-expression. You have to allow it to become a guiding force for your actions. Okay? So magnetism through presence. We talked about this. Being fully embodied and authentic creates this natural pull. It's what makes you highly influential without needing to seek any kind of validation. You're protecting your energy, you're cultivating it, and the cup overfloweth, right? The cup overrunneth. Let it overflow to add value. By surrendering control and embracing ease, you align with this higher flow, this higher Tao of life, this Brahman. So say to yourself, I'm in my frame, my cup runneth over. I do not chase, I magnetize, I attract. Presence is my power, joy is my fuel. Let it be easy, let it be easy, let it be easy. One of my favorite things to say. Because really, what is it that we need in most moments is to get out of that sympathetic fight or flight response into the feed and breed. Okay? Feed and breed. So, wait, let me just pull something up, guys. Very, very powerful understanding here. I'm going to show you how to biohack your reality right now. This is a very special gift from Primal Sutra and a very powerful paradigm, let's just say. Okay? So, okay, biohack the mind. So, think about this, okay? When you create a sense of peace within you, you create serotonin. I'm talking about the savage shaman first, okay? Because that's the most important one. Confidence, power posing, testosterone. Motivation, the dopamine, right? Decisiveness, noradrenaline. Okay? Being focused, noradrenaline and dopamine together. Calm dominance, okay? Testosterone and dopamine together. Are we understanding this, guys? Give me a thumbs up if you get it. Easy to socialize, oxytocin and endorphins. High libido, testosterone, dopamine. Boom. Generally chill guy. Okay, I'm just a chill guy. Okay. By the way, they made a Funko Pop doll of that guy. They're like 5 steps ahead of everybody. Feed and breed is the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. It's your need to procreate and the need to consume. Okay. So when you feel I'm well fed, I'm well bred. Okay. Good food, good sex, right? This puts you in such a powerful state of mind. It makes your mind sharp, right? But you got to quiet the mind, that's the serotonin, release the meaningfulness to create the meaning in your life, right? And of course, high testosterone, higher self-esteem. I mean, there's studies that have shown this, okay? So then we have panic, high adrenaline, anxiety, cortisol, procrastination, low dopamine, indecisiveness, low noradrenaline, easily distracted, low serotonin, low status syndrome, high cortisol, always in stress, okay? Hard time socializing, dysregulated oxytocin, right? Dysregulated oxytocin. You're not generating enough trust and love in your interactions. So if you're always in this heart wall, like closing yourself off, how are you going to ever socialize? Because to socialize, you need to get vulnerable, my friend. You need to take down the barriers a little bit, right? Not take down all the fucking walls around you, right? Maintain some backbone. But at the same time, you can't be closed off because that's what's going to be created and stacked upon, right? Then let's say you're always tired, you have adrenal fatigue, or you're generally nervous, you're always in this fight or flight mode or this negative thinking where you have an overactive amygdala. You feel shame, you feel guilt, you feel all these lower emotions, right? So what if you could tune your autonomic nervous system with certain activities, like just shaking the body, right? Like shaking the body like a wet dog in the rain, for instance. That might seem weird, but it's going to help you tap from wimpy wizard to savage shaman. It might be weird to growl like an animal, right? As Primal Sutra recommends, like, right? It looks weird to do that, especially in public. Like, what is that guy doing? Why is he growling? What a weirdo, right? Like one of those weird people in New York City that just talk to themselves, right? Hey, we could go there, okay? So let's not point fingers and let's start to understand how to make ourselves sane in our own nervous system again, to feel this calm dominance, this focus, this easy to socialize energy, where we just open up and we understand I can be myself fully now. I don't need to play pretend anymore, right? Like when you're in high school, yeah, you play pretend, you know? Let it be easy, let it be easy. Sorry, I slept. Oh, that's okay, babe. Um, let it be easy. Yeah, parasympathetic meaning unconscious. Oh, damn. Mic drop. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on. Stacking your wins, of course, as I mentioned. Uh, divine integration. And learn not. Oh, this is a great datum, guys. Oh my goodness. This is an ego versus soul one. Okay. Look. Learn not to preserve yourself, which is the ego. Learn to offer yourself, which is the gift of giving, right? Creation, life force energy. Isn't this beautiful? This just came to me at such a beautiful time as I was just reflecting on things, right? Learn not to preserve yourself, learn to offer yourself. I offer myself to Source to use me as a divine experiment to free others from their cages, right? And so this beautiful proverb, we could say Primal Sutra proverb, is going to make perfect sense because oh man, this was a deep download too. If it's meant for you, it'll make sense to you. Why? Because your senses are attached to reality, this physical world. And if you apply meaning or create your own serotonin reserve, you are now like a factory that has all this fuel, right? And everybody's trying to line up outside of your fuel system, your fuel storage system, right? It's like the idea of spice being the substance on Arrakis in the movie Dune, right? It's the same idea. there is that spice within you too. There is that flow state, that limitless pill, the NZT48. That's within you too. It's in your own brain. Your brain is the greatest pharmacy on earth. You just have to activate it, fire the right neurons to wire together, right? That's neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to adapt and change, right? So if you live through an entire experience in your own mind, guess what? You might just identify with it and make that about you. Like, let's say you had a moment. Well, I mean, this happened to Ryan G twice, so I'm going to bring this up as an example. Okay. So he got stopped by the cops, right? Second time for speeding or whatever, like just a bit over or whatever. It's like a booby trap. Okay. He fist bumped the cop right at the end. And what was really interesting to view, all right, this whole interaction, there was Viking music playing in the background. Okay. Right? Like Valhalla's calling or whatever. And so I'm sitting here trying to process this. At the same time, understanding that, wait, this has a whole hidden meaning and a purpose behind it. Because I'm making the meaning. I'm the serotonin making machine. Your brain will make meaning out of anything, right? It just wants to make sense of things, but you've been feeding it nonsense, right? And the will, the masculine consciousness, is to make sense of the nonsense, as far as I've understood it. It's to decode the uncodable. Okay, so this is why it seems like you're in this paradox right now. You are here and right now. And from this point, you can then time travel wherever you want to. Okay, time travel is imagination, nostalgia, okay, memory trips. Yeah, I know. I know. I've taken a day off for Christmas. So I'm going to end it soon, though. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. So yeah, the most Sigma Xmas ever. Okay. Thank you for tapping in. Remember, you got to acknowledge your sovereignty. Got to shift energy from fear to flow. I'm talking about the lessons yesterday, which we can apply today. Engage in some minimal practice of self-love each day. If it's just like a compliment to yourself in the mirror, right? Something very minimal and simple that you can start stacking daily. And make it normal for you. Make it second nature to you. Okay? And this is what you really have to do, is bring it back to your own self-awareness to protect yourself from unwanted energetic influences. Okay? You got to be rooted in self-empowerment. And then you have the self-awareness, right? And awareness precedes the ego's control. Okay? Very powerful. Any questions, guys? Anything coming up? Listen, Guido, the thing about temptation that you said, okay? Temptation is something outside of you controlling the pole, making you feel like you are in lack or not enough of something. If you understand what it is, or what your perception of it is, you can then create a sense of self-fulfillment, which then your mind won't go outwards to seek anymore. It'll be well self-preserved, okay? It'll be this internal acceptance of the moment. Like, yeah, I'm tired right now. I accept it, right? If I resist feeling tired, like, no, I need more energy, you know, I'm creating more blockages where I could be creating more channels. So drop the self-imposed limits. I am lacking, and I do understand the perception. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, If you're lacking, then just notice the separation and the opposite, right? Because is a part of you that you might ask yourself, Guido, what would it feel like to feel complete? Right? What might it feel like to feel complete? Whew. Notice how you just embodied there, right? So you gave yourself the possibility to take a step out of the lack, to peer through that liminal space, right? Now you can, right? You can exit the hologram, you can enter the hologram again, right? This is what I got as a gift from my mentors. Okay, they gave me the keys to unlock things, and now I'm the janitor. I'm the one that holds the keys. Okay, lots of keys that open many, many, many different doors, but all those doors lead to the same place. They're each a flow state portal, a gateway of flow, all reaching to the same place, whatever you want to call it. Okay, moksha, nirvana, samadhi, okay, enlightenment, gnosis, satori, whatever you want to call it. The self-imposed limits do come from a changed reality due to somewhat of a recent trauma that did some serious damage to my life. Gotcha, man. Have the self-awareness to shrink it down so it's more manageable. What is most mentionable is manageable. Now that you've brought it up with me, at least, now the frame has shifted. You see, it has no more power over you because you can talk about it now. You see what I'm saying, bro? So that's really good that you're opening up about this. And what I would say is see if you can zoom out a bit and see the trauma exactly for what it is, but from an alternate perspective, right? Like, what if it was a black and white movie and it was really hazy? What if it was like an animated show where everything was blown out of proportion and exaggerated? Okay. What you're doing right now, you're fine tuning the mind, but you're also desensitizing the negative, distorted memory of that shock factor that you felt, which your body created holding patterns for, right? You ever feel tension within your body somewhere and it doesn't leave? Like you've talked to doctors about it, you talk to physical therapists about it, but it won't go because it's an energetic thing you haven't explored yet. And I've understood this at least that certain times it might be that I walk into some environment somewhere and I pick some energetic thing off of somebody else, which was never mine to begin with, right? I do not claim their storyline, right? And you got to have this ability to, it's their responsibility. This is my responsibility. Let me put the oxygen mask on first before I can help others to breathe. Okay? So let it be easy. Okay? This is not a quick fix, right? Like you can't throw a monkey wrench in the middle of a cave and thinking it's going to hit some diamonds. Okay? You've got to trust the natural cellular memory of your body. Your body has years and years of evolution behind it, backing it. Okay? And that trauma is a past circumstance which has created your presence because now you're looking from the trauma goggles at the world instead of understanding that I can change the tint of this, the hue of this, right? The experience of this. My baby is so smart. Look at what she just wrote in the comments. You have to learn to live with it and accept it and tell yourself that it's just a test from God. That also helped me with my traumas. How beautiful. Because this is the kind of vulnerability that really heals, you know? I'm really grateful you're in my life, babe. Okay? You watch my videos, send me purple hearts, okay? It means a lot. I don't say that just to say that, because a lot of people can come on and flex and, signal virtue. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to notice this positive upward spiral is created from decisions such as this. To understand that you're being battle tested for the greatest spiritual war which you're about to win. I've essentially gone to war against it, and it's an internal struggle, right? You've gone to war against it, therefore you're creating more resistance against it, and it's creating the psychic pattern, right? So now, even my outward activities of study and remedy reflect my declaration, but war is negative, and my mind fights using attrition. That experience does not define you. It doesn't define you. It doesn't define your character. It's what you chose to do afterwards, right? Your dedication, your fight against it, okay? Which sometimes we need to do. We need to push it away, right? In order to focus or do better or change our situation. But remember, that is a beautiful part of your backstory that creates ascension fuel for you, okay? So don't snip it away or try to bypass it or doubt it. It is pure Holy Spirit and love that made you defeat that darkness, and you still continue to do so. Okay? And you still continue to do so. All right, guys, I got to get going. All right. Let me just sign out real soon. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Have an incredible rest of your day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. Uncle Makara out. We got this.